So NFL Total Access, an NFL Network staple on their cable channel for 20 years, is going away. It will be replaced by the show NFL No Access. The two best words in sports are Game 7. And if you're a playoff basketball fan, we certainly have two playoff games for Game 7 for the Eastern Conference, and one in the East, Pacers taking on the Knicks. And then you have in the Western Conference, Timberwolves trying to knock off the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets. So two big games coming up, and should be a good one. We'll find out how that turns out, but it'll be good. I know Knicks fans are hoping the Knicks can pull it out against the Pacers, but it's been a real prize fight between these two ball clubs, Pacers and the Knicks. And it would be nice to see the Knicks back in the Eastern Conference Finals. But Tyrese Halliburton of the Pacers, he's been on fire lately, and we'll see if he can keep his magic going into Game 7. And the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, Game 7, we'll see if Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns, see if they can knock off Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the Nuggets. And so if you're a playoff basketball fan, it'll be a good series coming up. Well, the NFL schedule has finally been released, and the Dallas Cowboys schedule has been unveiled. Of course, they won the division a year ago, and so they are going to get the first place schedule. The reason why the NFC East has not had back-to-back division champions since 2000. But we'll go over the entire schedule. Yes, even the preseason schedule. So Cowboys have 2 games away to start the year. Of course, they usually do their training camp out in Oxnard, California. So they've got an away game at the Rams in Inglewood, and then they play the Raiders in Vegas, and then their home game against the LA Chargers. That's the preseason. And then here's what the regular season will look like. They kick off the regular season at Cleveland. They play the Browns, and of course, everyone's talking about how that'll be Tom Brady's broadcasting debut. And then the Cowboys the following week, they get a home game, noon Central Time, against the Saints. And then they'll get their first late Sunday afternoon game. Their Sunday afternoon game against Baltimore. That should be a good game. Dak Prescott versus Lamar Jackson. That should be a good one. The Cowboys then go back on the road for 2 weeks. They'll play the Giants on a Thursday night, Amazon Prime Showdown, Prime Video. And then they'll play the Steelers on a Sunday night showdown. So that will be interesting. Always fireworks when the Cowboys and the Steelers meet, whether it be the regular season or Super Bowl. There's always fireworks. And then they have a home game against the Lions, and their bye week. And then they will go back on the road at the 49ers, at the Falcons. And then after 2 weeks away, they'll come back home for home games against the Eagles and the Texans. So in-state rivalry, Lone Star Showdown on the 18th of November. And then on the road, they'll play the Commanders. And then on Thanksgiving, they'll play the Giants. And then a Monday night showdown, December 9th, against the Bengals. And then they'll play the Carolina Panthers. Panthers don't have any primetime games this year. If this was ever a game that the Cowboys should destroy Carolina, they destroyed them last year when they played them at their place. I'm not expecting anything different this time out. And then they'll play the Buccaneers at home, at Philadelphia, and the final game will be the Cowboys playing the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn will get to come back to Cowboy Stadium for his first game as a head coach against the team he was defensive coordinator for. So that's always interesting to see that. Of course, that could take place January 4th or 5th, depending on how they schedule it and which network, I guess, will pick it up. Could get the Sunday night treatment if the division title's on the line. So we'll see how that pans out. I saw the Cowboys have, I believe, 6 primetime games this year, and I believe that's tied with the Jets. Because everybody wants to see if Aaron Rodgers can get back to 100% with his knee injury. So we'll see how that'll turn out. But all in all, every fan of every team should be excited for this upcoming season. It's going to be a good one for all of them. The Bears, of course, they drafted Justin Fields. He's going to be their starting quarterback. It's already been announced he's going to be the starter. So he's going to be the guy, and so we'll see how he does. He was number one pick, and number one picks. We'll see how he does. So it'll be a very good, very interesting upcoming NFL season, and I'm excited for the Cowboys, and hopefully get to see how they do this year. And of course, the question with the Cowboys is always how are they going to do in January, but I don't see any reason why this team should not repeat as division champions. I don't see any reason why the Cowboys can't once again win 13 games on the schedule. Well, we'll see. Should be a good year. As much as I will forever hold a special place in my heart for Kyle Hendricks and the rest of the 2016 Chicago Cubs who managed to erase a century plus of drought and frustration, I know that it's time to just see what's really going on with this team and with Kyle Hendricks. It's time for Kyle Hendricks to accept a demotion to the bullpen, as he cannot go more than once through the order without getting lit up, and the effect was evident yesterday for the Cubs against the Pirates, as Kyle Hendricks has an ERA of 10.5 so far this season, and that's simply not going to get it done at the major league level for pitching. And Kyle Hendricks has definitely had better days, but he needs to either accept a demotion or go to the bullpen. Because we've had problems, the Cubs have had problems with their bullpen this season. Seems like as great as our starting rotation has been, the bullpen has been our Achilles heel. But we'll see if the Cubs can right the ship against the Pirates today. Paul Skeens brought his no-hit stuff to Wrigley again, and it was very interesting to see how he dominated the Cub hitters. And if he had pitched 9 innings, he probably would have pitched no hitter. He was that dominant against the Cub hitters, and he brought his triple-digit fastball to Wrigley Field and blew the Cubs away. You can do that first couple of starts in the majors, and eventually you can get to the major with a triple-digit fastball, but you won't be able to stay there with it. But as I've said, it is my hope that Paul Skeens has a good, long, productive major league career, and it is my hope that he pitches for a long time. And to quote one of my favorite TV shows, I hope he lives long and prospers. And so we have that going on, and the NFL schedule release has also come out today. It also came out, and the schedule is looking like, well, if you managed to make it to the end, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for checking out the Power Zone Sports Podcast. Please check out my website, pcnsports.com, and have a great week. And I'll talk to you all again next week. This is Joseph Ashcraft signing off.